Real places with supernatural histories. The fascination with the supernatural. Since ancient times, humans have been obsessed with what they cannot explain. Voices in the night, shadows at the window, footsteps echoing in empty halls. The supernatural surrounds us, and some places carry stories so disturbing they became legends. Today, you'll discover real locations where the impossible happened. Accounts of vengeful spirits, forbidden rituals, and apparitions documented by eyewitnesses. Prepare to dive into places where fear is tangible and history merges with horror. Places you could visit, but probably shouldn't. Take a deep breath and uncover the dark secrets behind some of the world's most chilling places. Waverly Hills Sanatorium, USA. Built in 1910, Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Kentucky was the site of one of the largest tuberculosis outbreaks in the United States. Over 60,000 people died within its walls, many under disturbing circumstances. One infamous area is the Death Tunnel, a long underground corridor used to transport corpses away from public view. Those who venture inside report screams in the dark, figures passing through walls, and doors that slam shut by themselves. Paranormal investigators captured voices pleading for help and inexplicable shadows. The most talked about ghost is a nurse who allegedly hanged herself in room 502. She appears with empty eyes and a rope mark around her neck. To this day, the location attracts ghost hunters and thrill seekers, many of whom flee after claiming to be touched by unseen hands. It's said that when silence takes over, you can still hear the coughing and whispers of the long-dead patients. An eternal echo of pain. The Island of the Dolls, Mexico. In the canals of Xochimilco, Mexico City, lies a small and macabre island, La Isla de las Muñecas. There, hundreds of decayed and mutilated dolls hang from trees, cabins, and poles. Legend says Don Julian Santana Barrera, the island's caretaker, found the body of a drowned girl. Shortly after, a doll floated by, which he believed was a spiritual sign. He began hanging dolls to appease the girl's spirit. Years later, Don Julian was found dead, floating in the same spot where the girl had drowned. Visitors report dolls moving their eyes, whispering, and even changing places. Some, even without batteries or mechanisms, allegedly call out names in the dark. Paranormal experts consider the island one of the most spiritually charged places on the planet. Tourists often feel nauseous, disoriented, or chilled. They say if you stare into a doll's eyes for too long, it might follow you home. Aokigahara Forest, Japan. At the base of Mount Fuji lies Aokigahara Forest, globally known as the Suicide Forest. Since the 1950s, hundreds of people have entered the forest, never to return. Its dense foliage muffles sound and blocks GPS signals, turning it into a natural labyrinth. But most disturbing are reports of white apparitions and voices calling visitors by name. Local legends speak of Uriai, spirits of those who died violently and remain trapped in the earthly realm. Hikers and ghost hunters frequently report the feeling of being watched and followed. Colorful ropes tied to trees are left by visitors to mark their path, but many vanish inexplicably. Some tourists claim to hear distant screams from places where no one should be. Authorities discourage visits, yet the morbid fascination persists. Those who enter risk never returning. Leap Castle, Ireland. Built in the 15th century, Leap Castle in Ireland is considered the country's most haunted fortress. For centuries, it witnessed assassinations, torture, and family betrayals. In the Bloody Chapel, the castle lord's own brother was stabbed to death while celebrating Mass. The priest's spirit still wanders the chapel, blood-soaked. But the most feared presence is the Elemental, an ancient entity described as a shadowy figure with rotting eyes and the stench of decaying flesh. Those who encounter it report deathly visions and uncontrollable panic attacks. In 1900, workers restoring the castle discovered a hidden dungeon filled with hundreds of skeletal remains impaled on spikes. Paranormal activity reportedly increased ever since. Visitors speak of invisible hands, violently slamming doors, and eerie chanting in the air. One of Europe's most cursed places. Poveglia, Italy's cursed island. Between Venice and Lido lies Poveglia, considered one of the most haunted places on Earth. During the 14th century, it served as a quarantine site for plague victims. Over 160,000 people died there, their bodies burned in massive pyres. Centuries later, in the 1800s, it became an asylum. Horrific abuses by doctors are part of its dark history. One sadistic psychiatrist allegedly went mad after being tormented by spirits and jumped from the hospital tower. Even today, fishermen avoid the island. Those who dare approach report hearing screams from the abandoned hospital, the sound of bells, and figures moving through the ruins. Divers found human remains in nearby waters. The Italian government forbids visits, but curiosity lingers. Paranormal experts claim Povelius energy is among the most oppressive in Europe. They say when you set foot on the island, an invisible weight presses on your chest and voices whisper until you leave, if you can. Greyfriars Kirkyard, Scotland. Located in Edinburgh, Greyfriars Kirkyard is widely regarded as the world's most haunted graveyard. Built in the 16th century, it housed the infamous Covenanters prison, where religious dissidents were tortured and executed. The most feared ghost is George Mackenzie, or Bloody Mackenzie, a ruthless lawyer who condemned hundreds to death. Since 1999, over 500 documented paranormal attacks occurred, including fainting spells, scratches, and unexplained bites. Many visitors claim to be pushed by unseen hands near Mackenzie's mausoleum. The tomb remains sealed, but the activity hasn't stopped. On misty nights, shadowy figures drift past the iron gates, and ghostly chanting echoes among the headstones. Ghost hunters insist it's one of Scotland's most paranormally charged sites. Anyone brave enough to enter alone after sunset rarely forgets what they witnessed there. It's said that near the mausoleum, one can hear the clanking of chains and sinister whispers. Even local guides refuse to tread those grounds at night. The Stanley Hotel, USA. In Colorado, the Stanley Hotel became famous after inspiring Stephen King's The Shining. Built in 1909, the hotel holds a chilling reputation. Guests claim to hear phantom footsteps, moving furniture, and violently slamming doors. One of the most famous spirits is Elizabeth Wilson, the hotel's former housekeeper, who appears in room 217, the very room where Stephen King stayed. She's known to fold guests' clothes and turn on lights during the night. The ballroom is another hotspot, where old-time music plays even when no one's there. Staff and visitors report shadowy figures dancing in the dark. Paranormal equipment captured children's laughter, men's angry voices, and objects moving by themselves. The hotel even offers nightly ghost tours for the bold. Experts believe its supernatural energy is fueled by decades of sorrow and death. Those who sleep there often wake with the unshakable feeling of being watched.